We're going to put some engine mounts in.
See how well it fit.
This is going to be this side.
No, that's this side. It goes.
Now keep it back. Right.
Ooh. Yeah? No? No, I
they're
did that
marked.
side right there.
I think they're marked.
It's like
somewhere.
this. That goes up there. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one fits a little better than this side, but it fits nonetheless.
I think there's directions with this stuff. So let's see if they give you bolt information.
It seems like that right there would be the opposite direction, wouldn't it?
No, that's how they see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be flipped where you'd slide, put the nut through and then it would slide down into that.
Well, that's not the bushing on there's got a big round thing, so I guess it drops in and that big round thing indexes in that.
Shoot, I'll bolt mine up like that right there, set the motor in, see if it's good, take it back out, and I'll weld the mounts out.
Welding the frame brackets to the Jeep is not recommended.
Well, I always like to live life on the wild side.
Well, it's going in. So we can go ahead and just take the
Yeah.
bolt out of it. This is just going to be the first test fit, so it's going in with no transmission. Oh, no, that's the 13. Where'd the 15 go?
It's right there, wherever that ratchet. The wrench ratchet, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they grease that one.
And then sideways. Good. Alright, so setting it in there, we ran into some clearance issues over here on the passenger side, so we're going to take this manifold off.
I'd say if he's gonna do it, just sit in there, just bare bones.
Yeah, I mean there's plenty of room to put the manifolds on. I was just test fitting all this stuff before.
I thought we was gonna have it one stroke.
I might have a little bit of a clearance issue here once I get a pulley on this, because I have lines coming out of my gearbox for the hydro assist. So I may have to look at doing like an underdrive pulley or something. other than that, though, the bracket, you know, having the lines here and everything else, the bracket fits in there really, really good. I don't know if the hood's going to close yet. That is to be determined. Look at this side, though. Super close. Look at that. Holly pan definitely pays off because, man, it's got the clearance under here.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth. Let's see if the hood closes. That's fine. Just anywhere will be fine.
Well, if it doesn't, are you gonna try to find another mount?
I don't know yet. Depends on how much it doesn't fit. We're talking about a little bit or inches. It'll still latch, won't it?
I don't know.
Sure, the latches are still in there.
Oh yeah, it was still latch, still go down. How close?
All I got to do really is just move this hole from here in a little bit, and that'll rotate the alternator down.
I think when you shake it.
It'll close then. Yeah, I think we can, because I mean this thing's just drilled and tapped on the backside. So all I have to do is just put a hole in it here, cut the ear off.
Hell, even if you just put another hole in right there and put a nut on it.
Yeah, or that. Stick a bolt through it and put it. Oh, actually, that's what it does. It's got a nut on it, so all I have to do is just move my hole over.
Yeah, I think we make that work.
All right, so here it is. It hasn't changed a whole lot, but what I've been working on over the last couple of days is getting the wiring sorted out, or to the best of my knowledge, it's sorted out.
Yeah, we won't know until we turn the switch on.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've decided to keep the factory gauges, and to do that, I've had to splice in a few outputs from the LSPCM that are going to go to the gauges, and for oil pressure and coolant temp, I'm going to be running for oil pressure. I got an adapter so I can run the Jeep oil pressure switch, or oil pressure sending unit, I guess. So that'll just send oil pressure straight to the gauge. For coolant temp, I'm going to run LS truck style coolant temp sensor in the back of the head on the passenger side. Normally it would just have a plug in it, and that temp sensor is going to send that's going to be the sending unit just for the gauge. The one in the front on the driver's side will still be there to send temperature to the PCM, which will control the fans. I don't have those yet. I'm waiting on the fans and radiator from Novak. That stuff shipped, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning.
Yeah. So, waiting on that stuff still, but that's okay because I'm not quite there yet. And then I had somebody local cut down a truck harness for me, and there was 2 power wires that I had to hook up, or need to hook up to battery, 1 ground wire. The TAC output I got from the PCM for the gauge. What else did I have to hook up? Oh, I had to jump the neutral safety switch to ground in order to get my signal to the starter. The starter wire is still the factory Jeep starter wire. I need to just
snip it.
From what I was told, I'll have to hook up the factory Jeep, the solenoid signal from the factory Jeep harness, which I have here, and we confirmed yesterday with the multimeter that this does have battery voltage on it when you hit the start position.
After we jump through a bunch of hoops.
Yeah, jumping the neutral safety switch to ground. The OBD2 stuff I still have to hook up because he wasn't sure where I would want the connector, so he just left those wires labeled and hanging out of the PCM, so I'll just run those in the cab and probably put them next to where the stock one was or something. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully in the next day or two, we can hit the key on this thing.
Hopefully, the biggest thing that we need right now is less work on a real job and more daylight time with this stuff.
Yeah.
Or some help.
Well, it's Thursday night, so hopefully by Saturday. Hopefully by Saturday we'll be. I mean, as soon as this thing starts up, we're yanking it back out, so we can put it back in.
All we need to do is hear it start.
That's it. Don't care about nothing else.
Come back out, all the wires get fixed.
Because I'm not gonna put a radiator. I'm not gonna put the radiator and stuff in it and run it.
No.
We
just need to hear it turn over.
Yeah, and then right back out, getting the transmission baited up to it, getting all the wiring fixed, and
You only said 2. There's a third one. But we're going to try to get the motor to hit. And if we get the motor to hit, then that means that 50% of everything right here is right.
50%
that we know of.
Yeah.
We're going to have to warm it up, get oil pressures, all that. So that's what
it's a new day, obviously. We're back at it.
We turn wrenches by day and by night. That's all we do is turn wrenches.
Yeah. I need a socket to fit the factory oil pressure switch. So now we're going to try to prime the oil pump on this thing.
We're going to try?
Yeah. Because I don't know that this is going to work, but here's what we got. I've seen a bunch of different ways to do this. I saw a guy do it with like a hand pump and an oil bottle. I've seen there's tools out there to do it. But this is what I've got. It's just a little Mighty Vac fluid filler. So what I've done is I took the plug out of the side of the block, shoved a piece of hose in it. I'm gonna shove this in the piece of hose and try to just force oil into it. This probably won't be enough to see oil come out of the lifter, but if we can get the pump filled up, when we start cranking it over, then it should have enough oil in there to start picking it up from the pickup. Still no oil?
No.
That don't make me feel great.
No, not really. That's it. Yeah. I think we're good. The computer's learning too.
Yeah, it's just no mass airflow, no O2.
Yeah.
And there ain't much it can do.
Yeah. It's good enough.
It shakes that whole Jeep.
When they started doing that, I was like, that throttle ain't hooked up. What the hell's he doing?
That's it. We're done.
We're going to shut the hood on it.
Let's go. We're ready to ride.
Let's go try it out at AOP.
Oh, man, that's a good feeling.
It's nice to hear it run.
It is nice to hear this thing run. think that's going to wrap up part 1 of the LS swap part of this series. So now what we got left to do is take the engine back out. I'm going to finish cleaning up all the wiring. Then we'll bolt the transmission up to the engine, set it all in here as one unit. I still want to wrap the headers and put some seals underneath. I also got to figure out my shifter.
Yeah, we still got a number.
We still got stuff to do, but we know as far as the wiring harness, that stuff should be pretty well sorted out at this point. And the engine runs, it sounds good, and it makes oil pressure. And
sounds healthy. No clags, no knocks.
Yeah.
I think we're at a good point right here.
Yeah, so stick around for part 2. Be on the lookout for that. If you guys have any questions, if you're doing a swap of your own, send us a message on Instagram, send us a message on Facebook, leave a comment below. We'll do whatever we can to help you out.
As like we said it before, I mean, this is our first go at
It is, yeah. But
the Cherokee LS swap, and I mean, I've always said if I can do it, anybody can do it.
I mean, there's been people on, I'll be scrolling through Instagram and see another LS swap XJ, and I'll send them a message and say, hey, what accessory bracket you running? Or, somebody reached out to us about hooking up the factory gauges. So yeah, we definitely don't know everything, but
it's nice to have a community that you can fall back on.
For sure.
Even for somebody to say, hey, here's what I did. I don't know if this might not be the direction you want to go. And it ended up like the guy that sent the message on hooking because we wasn't going to go that route.
No, I was totally committed to doing like an iPad in the dash. Just because of the simplicity of it. Honestly, I thought it would be easier to do that than it would be to try to make a whole new cluster with odometer gauges or whatever. And I didn't know what it would take to use the factory gauges or to make those work.
That was really cool that he done that.
So
now that made it, well, I say it made it a little easier.
It's what I wanted to do in the beginning. I liked the idea of having the factory gauges and just the factory look from the interior, so I was all about it.
Shoot, yeah. I mean, if y'all got some ideas, let us know. And if there's anything we can help you with, let us know. I mean, that's why we do this, just to see if we can do it too, just to help anybody else out that's maybe got questions.
Yeah. So stick around for part 2, and also be on the lookout for the next Mel Munchie update. Sitting right behind that camera is the 6-liter that's getting torn down to go in that.
Yeah, we ain't got a whole lot accomplished on the Mel Manchie, but we do got a pretty good bit. We've just been really focusing in on
kind
this.
of put some focus into getting to a certain point on one project, because otherwise it was just seemed like nothing was getting done.
It's one of those things where this wasn't planned for both the projects to be down and doing this extensive kind of work, but it's the way it happened, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we might plan poorly, but we don't plan that poorly. We couldn't have planned it that bad.
I didn't mean to roll it over.
Yeah, and
well, that the same weekend that we done that's when you were.
Yeah, I just totally took a dump on me and started running horribly, and that was the end of that. I washed my hands of that thing. But alright guys, thanks for watching, and maybe one day we'll see you out on the trail.
See y'all.
Peace. Can we put the fuel pump fuse back in, or just hit it a couple times to see if we get pressure?
Let's hit it a couple times to see if we get some pressure.
Alright. This.
One is scared the shit out of me. 2, we just hit 50 psi.
Of oil pressure?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think we're good then.
Yeah.